Okay, hello. I'm gonna try and make this quick, but welcome to a quick rundown of one fanfiction I have read this week that piqued my interest. This one is from the website WTR Labs, as you see on the screen here, a great source of machine translated Asian novels and fanfiction novels. And hold on, give me a second. Trust me, I know. Many people don't enjoy machine translated series, especially people that have been in the fan fiction game for a long time and know how bad a machine translated fiction can be. Because they always get the grammar wrong, or a lot of the descriptions in general for the story get lost in translation and smoothed out, making the story relatively plain in comparison to alternatives. That's why many people prefer human or experienced people translating the novels. But a lot of the time, when you go to these sort of translation sites, you get the issue of waiting for the real person to, stop their main job, come to translate the Asian novel, and like you're waiting weeks. Sometimes they don't post chapter, they get delayed, things like that. Stuff happens and it's not your fault. Or sometimes chapters are behind a paywall and you have to basically buy a subscription to read chapters. Well, on this site, you can actually read the majority of fan fictions from Asian fan fictions in English with minimal grammar errors. This website is capable of machine translating the novels to quite a good degree. Although there are some fan fictions that still suffer from bad grammar and phrasing, the majority of fics translated on this website are pretty good, with new content being added each day. And I am not sponsored by them at all, only that I have read quite a few novels on this website and they were actually pretty good. The details and descriptions were actually translated pretty well, and sometimes, it's hard to find a certain genre that you want. This website tends to have quite a lot. And before we go on, you can actually even see on the main page, they have quite an interesting UI, ALMAC, dark backlight, so it doesn't hurt your eyes when you're reading for so long. Each and every day, they add new fan fictions of various genres, new novels, tabs, whatnot. You could request a novel, vote novels, community folder. On the right hand side, you have stuff such as daily ranking, weekly rankings, and whatnot. We got news sections, we got trending, we got random novel section recommendations. What I'm saying here is at the end of the day, there's quite a lot of content here. If you're looking, especially if you're trying to find or trying to scratch a specific genre or itch that you have, that you haven't been able to, what's the proper word, that you haven't been able to fulfill in a long time. For example, let's say like gender bending or things like that. If you're into that type of genre, there's actually a good amount of quality and content here for that. But moving on to the main point of today's video, um, today we are following the theme of protagonists with multiple bodies, or the tag of that theme. As the name indicates, novels involve a protagonist that has the ability, power, however you want to say it, to essentially create or yeah, or essentially create and control multiple bodies with one personality, meaning the story can progress in a different plot line due to the character, or more specifically, the story can progress along different plot lines due to each character being able to play a different role, such as both the hero and the villain at the same time. Generally, I find these fanfictions are hard to come by, mostly because the author must make or borrow a personality to match each body being created. And on top of that, the author must manage the storytelling aspect among the various characters. For example, if one body is a hero, that body cannot interact with anyone on the evil side, even if the protagonist knows someone on the evil side and is intimately familiar with the personality due to hanging out with them with the evil body. In a sense, these types of storylines do put pressure on the author to multitask various plot points correctly and sub-manage a protagonist's personality expression across various bodies. In terms of incorporating this tag with fanfiction, it might actually be easier because you are essentially borrowing an existing personality and you don't have to write that many, you don't have to write a new personality by scratch for each body. You're just writing the interactions between the interposed character in your story. Now, moving on to the meat of the video. Let's here. There we go. Ooh. Our fanfiction recommendation of the day from WTR Labs website is Marvel. All my incarnations are S-class female villains, with the main tags underneath the title being action, fanfiction, gender bender, and Yuri. We'll go on to that more details in a bit. As the name implies, though, this fanfiction primarily takes place within the world of Marvel, so expect characters like Nick Fury, Kingpin, Black Widow, the Hulk, Iron Man, and other various characters from the franchise make an appearance. As the screen shows, and yeah, maybe I should highlight this for a second. I don't know if you guys can actually see it because it's actually relatively small. I cannot even highlight it. Okay. But I was going to say I've actually read up to 91 chapters out of 110 of this entire 219,000 word novel. And I'm happy to report that this is quite a good fan fiction, especially with the well written action scenes. Add some spice to this. If we scroll down for a bit and look at the secondary tags, we have Pete, clones, female protagonist, multiple bodies, system, transmigration, and Marvel. Meaning, the main tags here that one person might be interested are the gender beta Yuri, female protagonist, and the protagonist multiple bodies with a system. For a brief explanation, this means gender bender meaning the character was originally male but became female or vice versa. A system power, essentially allowing them to create and control multiple bodies from other franchises, like our best girl Rize from Chainsaw Man and our favorite ghost girl from the horror fruit user of the One Piece manga. Now, in terms of the other tag, the Yuri tag should honestly be changed to self-cessed, if I'm being honest. Mostly because the protagonist is apparently narcissistic enough to fall in love with one of her bodies that basically just has a Rize skin on it. But that's besides the point. Who wouldn't love our favorite bomb double? Now let's go on and read the main description before we go on and finish this video of this fan fiction. Transformation Yuri Narcissia's anime crossover behind the scenes. Sumodi never expected that she would transmigrate into the Marvel world and become a beautiful girl. Looking at her face in the mirror, which is more innocent than her first love, and then imagining the world ending Thanos snap in the future, the girl felt dizzy. What's the point of playing this game? She said. Just not getting caught and having babies is a success. Fortunately, she awakened the villainous simulation game and started with the bomb demon Rize. Immediately, that's misspelled, that's fine. As long as she causes trouble and harvests negative emotions, she can use the villainous value to draw an avatar. Inami, Makima, Red Wolf, Rize, Kamishiro, Android 18, Annie the female titan. Wait a minute, has something strange gotten mixed in? As he grew closer to the increasingly aloof, demurring, and yonder type surrounding him, surrounded by the scent of citrus, Sumbodi's original desire to be a macho man gradually wavered. This feeling of pampering myself is getting more and more addictive. So the girl completely let loose and became a troublemaker among a group of superheroes and supervillains. Draw new avatars, train, simulate characters, and unlock more poses. Oh, wait, I mean more skins and abilities. Tony. Miss Lacey is so mean. She blew up my armor to smithereens and then sold it for scrap metal. Thor is Mjolnir's. I am mispronouncing his hammer name. Passed for big-breasted, brainless blonde beauty. Why did that mage named Lux just casually pick her up? Nick Fury. What do you mean? Even Hydra has been infiltrated by LeBlanc. Thanos, what are you looking at me for? I miss Mishima's dog, Wolf. When Sue Moody came to her senses, she looked in the Marvel universe she had messed up and blinked innocently. I really didn't intend to destroy the world. So basically, at the end of the day, overall, I believe I do recommend this fanfiction. If anyone enjoys gender bender or protagonist multiple bodies fanfictions, this will be quite a good read. The grammar, although there's a few like mistakes in the protagonist names, is not that bad. And if you're okay with reading Sumodi as the main protagonist's name, you should give this fanfiction a try. But besides that, it is a 4.2 rating with 53 different reviews, so that's a pretty good sign. Most of them being 60% being them 5-star reviews. So I do recommend it. The link to this fanfiction will be in the description below. And everyone, I hope you have a great day. Peace.